Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. Joseph Campbell. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. We are on a 10-mile jog. Just finished the first mile. I think it was about a 10:24, something like that. I am doing this new format on my channel to try to be more relaxed, have more fun with this, and try to just be myself. And so I said, you know what, let me just go and tell my stories as I'm out jogging. And of course, I'll be putting some graphics in here, some B-roll, you know, make it more interesting for you guys. And as I'm out here, I said, okay, let's get this thing started. And then the power button wouldn't work, wouldn't turn on. Had to stop my run to take out the battery. I don't know what's going on. Highly frustrating. I don't know. But anyways, you don't want to hear all that. It's a little warm out here. Should have started a little earlier, but I'm in a zone 2, so it doesn't make it too bad. So today's topic is going to be, why did I start running? And it's actually a pretty cool story that goes along with that. So I believe it all started back in about 2015-ish. Yeah, about 2015-ish. I have been about, let's say, a year and a half of not smoking. That's for another story, that's for another time. And I was still drinking from time to time, mostly just socially, not much. Way better than what it was prior to my, I guess, transformation, you will call it, metamorphosis. I don't know why they're honking, but it's not at me, I hope. I see why they're honking. Those are Trump supporters. So I guess they're rolling around town spreading their message. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave that one alone. So it's 2015-ish, I guess, and I decided I want to be a police officer. That is something that I always looked up to, mainly because when I was a kid, many times when there's some domestic violence thing going on, usually which involved my stepfather beating my mother or myself or my sisters, Yep, there we go, Trump supporters. Interrupting my story. But, gotta keep on going. So, that was the motivation behind me wanting to be a police officer. And we will continue this story when I get past this Trump parade. On a side note, I'm currently listening to my favorite Van Halen song right now. Why is it my favorite? Because it really inspires me. And plus it was like a big hit back when I was in high school. So it really resonates with me. And so I have this part in honor of the late Eddie Van Halen. Thank you, sir. We appreciate the awesome music you produce for us and put out for us, including right now. Thank you, sir. Okay, so so I wanted to be a police officer because of my upbringing and the feeling that I would get when those officers would come to the door. Was like a feeling of like oh my gosh, I'm safe now. I could calm down. I don't have to be worried. And so I wanted to give that same feeling to somebody. I was about a year and a half clean. I was at the gym regularly. Was in pretty good shape, I guess, compared to what I used to be. So then I talked to my then girlfriend, who is now my wife. I told her what she thought, and she said, go for it. And before, I would never go for it because I never thought I was good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't strong enough. Wasn't big enough. So that was pretty much my thought process most of my life. But then after hitting the gym and having my wife with me, who is incredibly supportive, and a whole different group of people who were positive and supportive, that gave me the self-esteem to go for it. Okay, so we are into mile 4. Just did like an 11-ish, 11:15-ish mile pace. See, it's so hot out here, it's hard to stay in the zone 2. So I feel like I'm just moving like a slug. Back to our story. So I applied for like every police department in my area. Applied for Santa Monica PD, LA County Sheriff's Department, LAPD, and I just completely immersed myself in law enforcement. I would talk to friends who were in law enforcement. I went on a ride along. I would call my family members, talk to them about it. Anything that had to do with law enforcement, I was all in. I was like studying about it, reading books about it. I was laser focused. And I even joined a Toastmasters club to help me become a better public speaker, because I found out around that time that I had an intense fear of public speaking, and I figured if I'm going to be in law enforcement, I can't have this fear of public speaking. So, as you see, I was committed. All right, mile 5. Just turn back around. Halfway done, folks. So I applied for all these departments, and my applications were accepted. And the first step is always the written test. And I could not believe it, but I was passing all of these written tests. Why was it so shocking to me was because I thought I was stupid. I was always growing up to be looked at as stupid. I was called stupid growing up. So passing all those tests even the harder ones with the harder departments like Santa Monica PD, they're much smaller departments, so they're allowed to be picky, or much pickier than the other departments. And I was even passing that test. And doing that, passing those tests, really boosted my self-esteem. Like, okay, maybe I'm not as stupid as I've been made out to be all these years, or made to think I was all these years. Very important, water. All right, mile 6. 4 miles to go, folks. Almost there. So then I started passing all these physical fitness qualifiers with them. And the 4 things with that is, it'd be running, of course, push-ups, sit-ups, and sometimes pull-ups. So with the help of a personal trainer that I hired, I was able to pass those tests, and that was like, shot my self-esteem up to like here. Man, I was shocked because, like I said, I thought I was super weak, not strong enough to be a police officer, and I proved myself wrong. But in the middle of all this, I joined a program with LAPD called CAPS, which is Candidate Assistant Program. And I would get home from work about 11, sleep until about 3 or 4 on a Saturday morning, wake up, drive to LA, which is about an hour and a half, every Saturday morning, and be part of this CAP program. And what they would do is they would simulate what the academy was like. So that's what it was. They'd prepare the candidates for the academy. If you're out of shape or you couldn't pass the physical fitness qualifier, they would help you do that. And there'd probably be about 50 to 75 candidates every Saturday. I used to run up that hill while I was training for the police department, but since I'm in zone 2 today, I have to avoid those hills, and it's already hard enough for me to stay in zone 2 because of this heat. Let's see. Oh, I'm good now, but we're moving slow, folks. We're moving slow, but we're moving. All right, 7 miles in. Whoo-wee. So where was I? Okay, so I'm at the CAPS program, and it was like boot camp. I'm talking, they would have the officers yell at you, they would scream at you. Very competitive. And so the first thing we would do in our workouts was go out for a run. It'd be like a squadron. You know, you'd stay in line with the group, and if you couldn't keep up, they would really give it to you. And so I wanted to get better. I wanted to be faster. I wanted to keep up with the advanced group. So during the week, I would bust my tail to make sure that I could keep up with them on the Saturdays. And I gotta tell you, I loved every second of it. And I started to fall in love with LAPD. And during that time, Santa Monica kind of fell off. Sheriff's Department fell off. You know, they'd say I wasn't qualified enough or whatever. But I didn't care because I was still in the running with LAPD. And I was getting in really far, like towards the end. And I thought, well, I'm a little nervous about LAPD because they go to like the roughest neighborhoods. But I'm like, well, God, if this is what you want, this is what I'll do. So I completely embraced and like mentally prepared myself that I was gonna be with LAPD. Even though I'm a vegetarian, I gotta tell you, In-N-Out always smells good. Can I please get a double, no meat? All right, 8 miles. Almost there. Feeling pretty good. And then in late 2016, I got that letter from LAPD after going through months of backgrounds that said thanks, but no thanks. I was completely devastated. I could not understand it. You know, and I went to that old cliche saying, why God? I thought for sure this was my path, that I was a perfect fit, that the challenges I went through in my past was going to help me relate to people and possibly help those who were going through the same challenges I was. And I wanted to be that person that knocked on that door to help the child on the other side feel safe. But so that was a huge blow. To say devastated is probably a complete understatement. So after a few weeks of sulking and not understanding how that happened, or why it happened, I guess, I'm at a Friday morning Shop Talk Toastmasters meeting, and I was telling a fellow member what was happening, and they've all been so supportive of me. They were just really rooting me on the whole process. And this guy said, you know, you've been training all these months. Why don't you put that training to good use and do a marathon? A marathon? I thought marathons were only for people that were like elite athletes. Like, it was just completely out of my realm of thinking. And then I said, you know what? I think I will. And that day, I went home, told my wife or my girlfriend, fiance, told my fiance about it, paid up the money, signed up, and for the next few months, I had another laser focus of completing my first marathon, and my goal was to run the entire 26.2 miles. Okay, 9 miles in, almost there. But this time I mean it, we're almost there. So in March of 2017, I believe it was, March or April, something like that, I got up early, headed down to LA with my family, and started my very first marathon, the 2017 LA Marathon. And I'm not gonna lie, it was probably up to that point, the hardest physical thing I ever did. But oh my gosh, it was so magical, beautiful. The crowd, how they cheer you on, the energy is just something you can't even put into words unless you do it. But the highlight of it, I gotta say, is getting to mile 13 and seeing my beautiful darling waiting for me, and just to see how proud she was, and oh my gosh, something I would never forget. Then about 4.5 hours in, I crossed that finish line, ran the entire thing, and I officially shed the skin of the person I used to be. And that marathon led to more marathons, which led to us starting that charity organization, Run for Grace. And now I'm still able to help people. And the plus side of it is I get to make sure I come home safe to my family every night and not have that worry that I might get shot or killed or stabbed or like a lot of the officers do now. Wow, it's crazy how things work out. Okay, we did it. 10. Very hot. Zone 2 miles. Did I say 10 miles? I think I did. Okay. So that is a story of how and why I started running. I hope this was inspirational to you. It's definitely inspirational to me. I love thinking back to that. But as you see, just because one door closes does not mean another door won't open, or that you can get something positive from that experience. Have you gone through that? Have you had an experience where you thought for sure that was your path, and then to find out your path is actually so left field that you didn't see it coming? If so, I want to know about it. Leave a comment below. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button. And lastly, please subscribe to my channel so then you can see more of my running adventures and hear me tell more of my stories of how I incorporate running with trying to live my best life, and how I use running as I use my passion for running to live my best life. That's how it is. Yeah, finally got it out. Okay. Well, thanks again for watching to the end. Have a great day, great week, weekend, whenever you're watching this. I truly appreciate you listening to my story and joining me on my hot 10-mile low heart rate jog. Bye guys.